It feels like this winter has flown by. It is already early March, and even though we've had snow on the ground for much of the past few weeks, and I've been able to go out, I've not had much luck photographing wildlife in the snow. It feels like this may be the last chance I get, as we've had a string of warm days, melting what is left of the snow on the ground. I am out today to change the location of my trail cameras, and then to explore the forest, looking for any wildlife. I ended up having a great few encounters with some curious deer who were soaking up the sun in the forest. If you're new to my channel, my name is Todd DeWald, and I'm a full-time wildlife and conservation photographer in beautiful New England. It is my goal to take you along to explore the amazing diversity of wildlife that call this area home, sharing with you my education to make us all better naturalists and better photographers. It is my hope that my videos will spark an interest in the wildlife in your area, so together, through photography, we can preserve the natural places that remain. Consider subscribing to my channel to learn more, and thank you for watching. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I am out on this beautiful, chilly morning, and I had two goals for today. First one was I wanted to change the location of my two trail cameras. I've had two trail cameras out for about a month or so, and I've had them in two separate locations. The last location I had them at, they've only been out for about a week or so, but they weren't getting much activity. I had a couple instances of a coyote walking by. They're on a kind of a forest edge into a field, and I wasn't happy with how much activity I was getting, so I wanted to come out today and move them a little bit. I actually ended up putting them back into the forest a little bit, away from the edge, because I'm convinced this is a good spot. So it's kind of four different habitats converging in this one location, and when you have these locations where a lot of different habitats are kind of converging in one spot, or easy access to get to all these different habitats in one spot, it's usually a really good spot to find wildlife, because there's a lot of different needs that can be fulfilled for the animals in just one location. So you have a field, then there it goes into a floodplain forest, which floodplain forests are really diverse areas, have a lot of different tree species, shrub species, and there's a lot of undergrowth, a lot of bushes and shrubs. A lot of them are kind of invasive, but it still provides a habitat for things like voles, mice, rabbits, all sorts of small mammals. And then there's a brook, beautiful brook. This brook actually flows back towards it, and so there's water. And then up the hill and opposite of the brook is a nice conifer forest. So you have these four different habitats all in one location. So I wanted to keep the cameras there. I just kind of tucked them back up into the forest a little bit. I put one kind of in a dried stream bank, and another one where I found some deer tracks. The snow is still on the ground, but it's been melting the past couple of days, so I was able to find a little bit more tracks in the snow, and I'm excited to see if this is a better location for them. There's a lot of tracks in the snow. There's deer, obviously there's coyote. I'm pretty sure I saw a raccoon and such there as well. So I think it's a good spot. I'm hoping that this new location for the cameras will be good. Now I am out to try to do some wildlife photography and bring you along with me. So I am again in this beautiful forest. It's nice early in the morning, and my first goal is to kind of just explore down along this brook. Usually this time of year, it's a good spot for some mergansers. So common mergansers or hooded mergansers typically, and I want to see if there's anything along this brook. But also brooks are a good spot to find all sorts of different things. We'll see what we can find, and if I don't have any success here, then I'll head up into the forest and explore some stuff up there. I did see two mergansers. They flew down the brook as I was walking along, but I don't know how far down the brook they flew. So I'm kind of set up on a spot now where I have probably about 30 or 40 yards worth of visibility of the brook. It's a nice straight section. It's nice and calm. I'm able to get low to the water. And so I just have my tripod set up, and I'm just going to sit here for a little while, see if they maybe come around the bend and come back up the stream. I'm not sure if they're going to or not, so I'm just going to stay here for a little bit and see if we get any luck. Well, I didn't have any luck with the mergansers. I was down there for a little while, and they either flew much farther down the stream, or they were just taking their time to come back up towards me. Either way, I didn't want to wait any longer. The sun's getting higher up now, and I'm in the forest because there was just so much glare out in the fields because of the snow still on the ground and the ice. But a problem I'm having is that, like I was saying, the snow is so frozen that every step that I take is just a loud crunch. So it's going to be nearly impossible to be able to sneak up on anything. But we'll see. I'm going to probably try to find a location to just sit and wait for a little while and just do it that way, because I don't know if this is going to work too well with how loud the snow is. I mean, you can hear just, that's 1, 2, it's like, and that's me walking lightly. So we'll see. But there's a whole bunch of tracks. There's some deer scat, and this is usually a good spot. So we'll see if we can find anything. Okay, I just saw a deer. It's probably about 100 yards or so in front of me. I have just been walking, taking a couple steps, kind of getting to a clear patch where there's no snow, and then just waiting quietly for a few minutes, and then moving again, waiting quietly, and I just saw a deer walking past. I saw its tail through the trees. Okay, so there's now 3 deer. They're all in front of me. I'm just going to wait here for a little while and see. They're not really moving away, they're just kind of walking. So I'm going to see if I can let them calm down a little bit and then try to move forward again. I think there's more than 3. There's a good amount of movement in front of me, so this is good. This is something. More deer keep appearing, so there's at least 6 deer here, and they're not moving away from me. They're actually just standing there, and they're still eating, which is really, really nice. It means that they're not too concerned at me at the moment. Either they didn't hear me, or they just assume that I'm someone on a trail somewhere. I'm still far away from them, but there's kind of a clearing in front of me. It's a little bit of an opening in the trees, and I'm going to try to creep up just a little bit to get a better position, and I'm going to try to set up and hope that they come towards me. I know I'm never going to be able to get close to them with how loud the snow is right now, but if I can just get into a little bit better position, get some of these sticks out in front of me, and maybe they'll come towards me. I don't know. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, I only moved up about 10 feet, and I'm still not really in a great position, but I really don't want to spook these deer, and I have one that's creeping over towards me kind of on a diagonal. The other ones are still farther away in front of me here. So I am just trying to be quiet and low. The wind is blowing all over the place right now. It was blowing towards my face, but it's kind of swirling around in here, and now it's kind of coming at my back. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I just don't want my movements to be what spooks them. If they catch my scent and that's what spooks them, I can't have much control over that when the wind's blowing in all sorts of directions, but we'll see. The deer have since kind of moved on. They walked kind of away from me at their own pace. It was really nice that I wasn't the one that disturbed them. They were just kind of meandering through the forest on their own. But then all of a sudden, these crows came in and are making all sorts of noise. Could be a couple of things. It could just be a group of crows. They're very social. It could be that they found some kind of bird of prey or something they don't like. Or it could be something, I've heard them calling like this when there's a predator on the ground, like a coyote or bobcat or something. It could be a lot of things. I'm going to pick up my stuff and head that way. Just try to go really slowly and quietly. Maybe I'll find the deer again. They kind of went that way, away from me. And maybe we can figure out what these crows are doing. It's just a really nice feeling that I didn't spook the deer. They just kind of continued on through the forest on their own, especially this time of year. We're early March right now, and these deer haven't really had much to eat for the past couple of months now, especially since we've had all of this snow and ice on the ground. They haven't really have access to stuff on the ground like they would usually. So really they've only been able to have maybe some acorns if they're able to find it. That's probably what they're eating here. We're in kind of an oak pine forest. And so they're probably digging at the ground, getting acorns that are in the leaf litter. But they'll eat pine needles and dried sticks and stuff. But it doesn't really provide them any nourishment. It's just a matter of allowing them to fill their stomachs. It doesn't really give them any useful calories, so I just caught a glimpse of the crows. They're up in the trees, up high. So maybe they found a hawk or something. I did hear a red-shouldered hawk calling earlier. So let's head over that way and see if we can figure it out. Well, I had made my way over and around actually to where the deer were when I first saw them, because they had moved on in front of me and I wanted to see what they were foraging for. And looks like I was correct. They were digging in the leaf litter, probably trying to find some acorns and stuff like that. But I came here, sat in the sun. I was gonna have some coffee because I'm freezing, and the deer just came back towards me. If you ever encountered white-tailed deer before, typically if you spook them or if they see you and you end up sitting and being quiet, a lot of times one or two of them will come and kind of investigate you and see what's going on. Well, I had kind of seen them in the distance. They were pretty far away. I'm sure they had seen me. So I came here, sat down, and I just had about 4 or 5 deer just come and check out what I was doing and what I was. They were really curious. I was able to get a couple clips of video, some photos. Wasn't anything too great because I was trying to be so still and just move so slowly that I'm sure I missed a lot of opportunities, but they just kind of kept coming closer and closer, checking me out. And then you can tell they were agitated because they started to do their stomping on the ground, which is kind of one of their ways of aggression, and also kind of trying to see if something's going to come and attack them. So they'll stomp the ground, which is kind of their way of seeing if you're going to come after them. And obviously I was just sitting here, but after a while one of them snorted. I'm assuming the leader of the group, and that signaled for everybody to run away. But there was probably about 8 deer that were all right there, pretty close to me. So that was a nice encounter. Stinks that they all had to run, but obviously they didn't want to stick around to see what I was too much longer. So I'm gonna let them be. Like I said, I don't want to spook them. I don't have much of a choice when they come over to me and then they get spooked because they probably caught my scent. The wind has been all sorts of weird today. I'm just gonna sit here, have some coffee. About an hour ago now, probably, there was actually a great horned owl that hooted somewhere in this area. I'm wondering if that's actually what all the crow activity was about. Maybe they had spotted it somewhere in the trees. But that was about an hour ago. I haven't heard it since, and I couldn't even tell you where the hooting was coming from. It was just kind of in this general area of the forest. So I'm just gonna sit here, try to warm up, have some coffee, have a snack, and probably move on and see what else we can find. There's a deer Coming right at me. Okay, they just ran off again. I'm going to back out of here. I wonder if they want to come back to this spot because it's nice and sunny, and maybe if I can set myself up in a better spot, I'll be able to get some more natural shots. Oh God. Oh. Except my leg's asleep, so there's that. Oh. I have moved away from where the deer were. I'm actually well away from them at this point. I don't think they're going to come back to that location immediately, at least, because it seems like they ran off farther this second time than the first time. So I just decided to leave them alone completely and give them their space. I don't want to be causing them to flee more than they have to. It was really nice, though, that they were curious enough to come back to me, and it wasn't like I was chasing after them and causing them to flee. So that's a really nice feeling. The wind, I have a feeling what ultimately made them run away is they caught my scent. The wind is just going all over the place today, and that's probably what caused them to flee again. But I got some nice videos, some nice photos. It was a really nice encounter, and I just want to leave them be. But that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to just warm up a little bit, have some coffee, and then head home. So thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I'm trying to grow this channel, and I could really use your support. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer that time.